Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. We have more Raw action for you tonight coming from our alternate universe mode here in WWE2K19. My name is Rich, this is RR37. Welcome back to the channel. It was a hectic end to the show last week. I have been told between last week and this week that we are going to hear from Spike Jackson regarding what went on at the end of last week. Regarding Dixon Armstrong and the franchise and all that lot. If you want to know more about that, the last episode is up on the channel right now. But we started off tonight with Cannon Diamond here absolutely pleading with his brother Omar not to go in the ring with, yes guys, it is going to be Franklin Majors tonight. So I understand the concern of the notorious Cannon Diamond, but Omar, well, he opened his mouth and now he's gonna have to go and take whatever consequences may well be coming his way. He wants to inspire Cornerstone once again. It's either gonna be a very smart or a very dumb decision, I suppose, by Omar. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But what we're not going to have to wait for is to find out what is on the mind of one Spike Jackson, our GM here in this universe of ours. He looks fired up and I am not surprised, so let's hand it over to him and see what he has to say. Just 2 weeks ago, I believe that it was, I came out here into this ring in front of all of you in the audience, all of you watching, and I declared that Dixon Armstrong, George Blake, the franchise, Richard Robinson, Buster England, and I can't remember actually whether I mentioned Frank Majors or not, but I'm mentioning him now, were not under any circumstances meant to interfere in each other's business. And what happened in last week's main event? My orders, my instructions, my demands were completely put to one side, not given a damn about by the franchise, by Franklin Majors, by Buster England. Now there should be consequences for that, and believe me, if it weren't that we were so close to WrestleMania, there would be consequences. And anything like this, any order of mine is ever ignored again after WrestleMania, there will be instant suspensions and there will be firings. Now, let me address this situation one more time. If any of the competitors that I've just mentioned in any way, shape or form interfere in any of the other's business again leading up until WrestleMania, whether it wrecks that card or not, Hell in a Cell doesn't go ahead, there will be instant suspensions from this point. There will be firings if necessary from this point. I hope that I have made myself clear to all of you right now. I hope that you're all listening. I mean what I say. For the rest of the night, guys, have a good night and enjoy the show. And if you do enjoy the show and you want to show this universe some love, you know what to do by now. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and if you can, even share it. It would be much appreciated. Good night. Holy hell, guys, I told you Spike was fired up. He did not like being disobeyed by the guys he mentioned earlier. And, well, you heard it here. There will be suspensions and firings if necessary going forward from here until WrestleMania. But for tonight, the match that we were just talking about just before Spike came out is going to happen first. Franklin Majors back into the ring tonight against Omar Mason Gray. I only see this going one way, if I'm honest with you guys. Majors has looked great every time he stepped in the ring so far. I don't agree with his actions outside the ring, but he's getting results. And well, yeah, Omar won his first match too, but come on. I just don't see anything but Majors win there, but you never know. You never know. He's looking to inspire his brothers, of course. We'll see if he can do that, I suppose. Next up, sticking with Cornerstone, we have got the notorious Cannon Diamond going against A-List Born tonight. This is, of course, a tournament match. I'm not too sure at this point whether A-List can get into the automatic semi-final places, but even if he can't, like I've mentioned before with other matches, both of these guys right now are looking to build momentum, because even if he can't get into the automatic places, there is still that one wild card place in the brackets up for grabs. So you want to be going into that, as I've mentioned before, in the very best form possible, and that is obviously just keep on stacking the wins. It's easier said than done, but everybody at this point, whether you're in the championship tournament or not, we are on a collision course for WrestleMania right now. If you want to be on that card, you better be winning matches. And speaking of, we have next up, we move from Cornerstone and we go to the Industry, who we've just saw the leader of, the GM Spike Jackson, and we go there with Prince Jackson going against Jordan Smith tonight. Will Jordan be able to pull off one of them upsets that we've seen him do in the past? I don't know, to be honest. I really don't know. It is a big task for anyone going up against any of Industry right now, because the numbers game is so heavy. We've mentioned it before. So yeah, Jordan has his work cut out tonight if he's going to get anything out of this match with Prince Jackson, and we may as well say it, the rest of Industry. And following that match, what a colossal match we have got here. Hunter King still very much in with a chance of getting the playoff places, the automatic places in the brackets, and he's going to be going against HBK tonight. This is huge for both of these guys. HBK has been on a massive roll. I don't really know who stops him right now, but if there's one person on the roster that can, it is Hunter King, and Hunter's been forgotten about really, so a good chance to make his name relevant again in this one. And speaking of relevancy, we have the Viking Warrior going against RK Ortiz in the main event, so as normal we will talk more about that one when we see it. But what a card this is, guys. I'm really looking forward to tonight's show. I hope that you are too. Before we get into anything on that card though, we have got Henry Bobby standing in the ring once again with the microphone right now, so let's hand it over to him. So last week I issued an open challenge for anybody to come and fight me, whether it was 1-on-1, 2-on-1, 3-on-1, it did not matter. I was feeling so ready, so good, so pumped, stronger than I've ever felt since we've started and I've arrived in this universe. And out comes Harvey Danger, a newcomer, great shape, young, hungry guy. I still felt very comfortable that I could beat him, but what happened? I lost to a newcomer, a guy that was only in his second match, his first match on camera, and I couldn't beat him. Guys, right now, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like an absolute fraud. I don't know where I go from here. I am on such a bad run right now. Yeah, I'm lost for words, to be honest, guys. I feel like I'm letting myself down. I feel like I'm letting all of you down. I think I need to go away again and figure out once again what I do next, how I come back from this. Wait a minute, Greg Slater is coming on down here. He's got no business with Henry Bobby. Why is he interrupting Henry? Greg Slater maybe spotted an opportunity for himself here, I don't know. Him and Cameron Oxley, since they've teamed up, have had little bits of success, nothing major. But he looks like he's definitely got something on his mind with Big Henry here. We haven't heard Greg's on the mic actually, so yeah, I'm a bit confused by this. Let's just throw it over and see what happens. No, Henry. You are not going to be taking any time off following that loss with Harvey last week. Instead, what you're going to do is you're going to get yourself ready for another fight in 2 weeks' time against me. So, have a week away, heal up good, and get yourself ready for the fight of your life. I'm sorry, Dregs, what? You come out here, you interrupt me when I'm pouring my heart out to all of these people, and then you ask me for a fight? You tell me to get ready for the fight of my life? I've been fighting for my life since the day I got here. I don't know, I don't need you. Why have we got to fight? Look, Henry, I come out here with nothing but respect. You've had your opportunities here so far. I'm giving you another one, and in return, I'm asking for one. Your name still carries weight around here. You've been in the biggest fight, the most violent fight that's been had in this universe so far, and I want my opportunity, and I want it against you. If you think that I'm gonna let you use my name as a stepping stone to better things for you, just to please you, you are wrong. But I tell you what, you want to fight? You want me at my best? You've got it. Me and you, 2 weeks time, one-on-one in this ring. Look, Henry, I meant no disrespect, man. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm going to go and get myself ready. You get yourself ready, and in 2 weeks time we're going to tear this damn house down. Well, guys, you gotta respect what's going on right now. Everybody is trying to call their shot as we are deep into WrestleMania season. And speaking of being in deep with things, we are very, very deep into our first ever championship tournament here in this universe of ours. And what a way to kick the in-ring action off tonight. We have got Hunter King against Hayabusa Kang. This could go either way. It is such a good match, a big match, a hard match to call. I've got to say, Hunter King at the moment, he was one, if you have been watching, you're a legend by the way, if you've been watching all the way back from the very beginning, I called this man as one of, if not the favourite to go ahead and win this entire tournament. He is still very, very much in with a shot of doing that, but just lately things seem to have gone a bit quiet for him. He's still winning matches, he's still doing what he needs to do, but I think the fact that he's such a solitary figure, he lives in a solitary way, he doesn't really interact with people, lives very much in his own head. He's very comfortable with his dark side, so he's very comfortable with his light side as well. He's very much, when he's not in the ring, meditating and things like that. But what it's allowing him to do is keep the pressure off himself, because no one's really talking about him and he's just quietly going about his business, like I said, getting done what needs to be done. And at the moment that is definitely working for him. The opposite has to be said of his opponent tonight. HBK started this tournament really slowly, whereas Hunter was one of the favourites. He was losing a lot. He was putting up good fight, but he was losing a lot. And all of a sudden, he's exploded out of nowhere. He's put this run together, and all eyes are on him at the moment. He's not doing it in a quiet way, and that's not his fault. It's just because he was losing and now he's winning like every week pretty much, the spotlight has definitely been shone on him, and that comes with its own pressures as well. Last week his name's been mentioned again through something which wasn't his fault. He got a very, very controversial is the word win last week through no fault of his own. He just got caught up in this might as well call it a blood feud at the moment between the franchise, Dixon Armstrong, George Blake and all that. He looked like he could have lost last week, did Hayabusa, but the interruption when it came on the screen of Franklin Majors beating up George Blake was enough to distract Dixon. When that went off the screen, Hayabusa was ready to strike, and listen, that's his job. It is nothing against him or no mark on his name. He did exactly what he needed to do, and he managed to pick up the win, and things, as we know, didn't end there for Dixon Armstrong either. So huge match this one, really, really huge. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's the first time in a long, long while that we've actually even seen Hunter King on camera. So that might come with a bit of pressure as well, whereas HBK, again, the polar opposite, he's been on the camera for weeks and weeks now because of the streak that he's been on and the attention that it's drawn to him. As for the tournament itself that we've talked about, Hunter being one of the favourites in, that still stands in my book. He's still right up there. I think he's one win away from Max Rutten at the moment, so it's still very, very much on for him. Whereas for me, HBK, I think realistically now, he just needs to keep this momentum up and hope that he gets picked up as the wild card. But we've seen some aggression this week out of Hunter King. He reminds me of week 1, week 2 and so on, Hunter. He did step away from that. He was showing more heart and grit in his matches, but definitely, as we go for the cover here, just the one. He started this off with the scoop slam and the kick to the spine, and if you remember early on, it was that very combination that injured Tyson Smith in this universe. So going back to the roots maybe for Hunter King at the moment, realising perhaps that he's not getting maybe the exposure that he deserves as he smashes Kang's face off the side of the apron there. Nasty stuff from Hunter, and he might be going for it again here. He is indeed. It wasn't enough to do it just off the face. He had to go and throw him and drop him with the shoulder on the apron. Where's he going now? Oh, the apron's not enough. He uses the stairs this time. Definitely a more aggressive side out of King this week. He tastes the stairs himself now, and there could be a very, very cheap count-out win here if Kang wants it. He is going to run back into the ring. It's up to Hunter. He's up. Kang realises that as well. That big match experience starting to show through from Kang there. Knew he weren't going to pick up the win, so went and got straight back out on the attack. And Hunter's hurting here at the moment. After the aggressive start, it's he who finds himself in a little bit of trouble here. Kang's matching his aggression into the apron now, but sternum first goes Hunter King there. Kang picks him back up, throws him in the ring. Feels like there might be a decision on for him here. Oh, big DDT, no. Hunter felt that coming, and those left hands there from the Scotsman. Fires Kang into the corner now, but he's taking his time. Much more confident looking Hunter King at the moment, and aggressive as well. As I mentioned, the big clothesline there. It's a 1 count, it's a 2 count, it's not a 3 count. The ref seemed to be in two minds there of whether to just go for the count or do what he should have done really, which was go and check the shoulders. Hunter lining up for something here. Hits it as well. It's been such a long time since I mentioned the slice, but we saw it there. And he goes for the cover this time. Referee's going to check the shoulders. It's 1, it's 2, and it's surely 3. It is 3 as well. There is no controversial win for HBK this week. There is no win for HBK this week. Hunter King back in front of the cameras, impressive as ever. Moves level with Max Rutten now in this championship tournament league phase, but remember, Rutten's in tonight, and King is not going to stop there. He's going to put the boots to Kang as well. I mentioned that there was a little bit more aggression in King this week, showing it off there for definite, and HBK is the recipient of that. Can't say that I understand really what's going on with Hunter there, but we have got Bailey Dudley in the ring now, so let's throw over to him, see what he's got to say. Oh wow, you guys, it is good to be out here in front of all of you again. I know, it's sad I am not your GM anymore. I have to say that I'm grateful for my time in that role. I really did enjoy it, and I hope that you enjoyed the shows that I put together for you. Gosh, it feels so good to be back. But I must move on from that now and address the reason that I'm out here. You will have seen that I now have a client and have become a full-time manager in this universe mode. My work is far from done here, you guys. Far from done. I might not be running things anymore from behind the desk and putting the cards together, but you saw my client, Eric Redhead, or Eric the Red, whichever you prefer. He's gonna be the guy that takes me to the top of this industry. He will undoubtedly at some point claim that WWE title, and when he does, once again I will have all the power in this universe. But that's for a later date. What I'm out here to do right now is to deliver a message that he has given me, and that message is directed to one Maximus Rutten, the guy that my client Eric Redhead claims is playing Viking around here. Now Eric is a Viking, you guys, and I can vouch for that, and he is not happy to see the success that Max Rutten has got playing at the culture that he has lived, breathed and was born into. He wants Rutten to know that he is the only true Viking here, and that he now has Rutten on his radar, and right now he knows that he can't get his hands on Rutten because of this tournament that I created. But as soon as Rutten is done with that tournament, whether he has the title or not, he is the number one priority, the number one target of my client, Eric Redhead. Thank you for your time, guys. Oh my days. One, it is great to see Bailey back. Two, when that battle comes around, that is going to be a battle for the ages in this universe mode, but as Bailey himself just said, that's for another date, because right now what we're looking at is the results of the matches that we have had going on tonight, starting with Franklin Majors and Omar Mason Gray. Well, this went exactly as was expected, and it was, and I don't want to be disrespectful, but it was an easy win for Franklin. That's what it was booked as well. There was no way once he answered the call was Omar gonna beat him. There's levels to this, and Franklin Majors is levels ahead of Omar. So unfortunately for Omar, and unfortunately for Cornerstone, I mean, the guy tried. It was brave of him to issue an open challenge. He wants to inspire his brothers like he did before, but unfortunately this was very much a case of a task too far. However, on the other side of the same coin, Cannon Diamond managed to pull off a huge win, in my opinion, against A-List Born. So although Omar didn't get the win, did he actually, just showing that kind of courage, inspire Cannon Diamond to that win? Well, we don't know, but Cannon goes ahead and gets a big win. Again, I think both of these, to be honest, are fighting for being hopeful of being the wild card. But that is some huge momentum gained in the corner of Cannon, and unfortunately that means that it's huge momentum lost for Mr. A-List Born. Next up, we had Prince Jackson going against Jordan Smith, and pretty much like the Omar and Franklin Majors match, I feel like this was only really and truly ever going to go one way, and it went the way that I thought that it would. Just too much with industry was Prince Jackson for Jordan Smith. Even with his brother outside, they were still heavily outnumbered. If this was even a tag match, it would be 4-on-2. So again, the usual outside interference being run by the industry to get Prince the win. That seems to be their way of going about things at the moment, and hey, it's getting results, so can you really argue with it? No, the Smiths can this week, but it won't do them any good. So yeah, Prince Jackson moves ahead, and Jordan Smith, as expected, stays where he is. And we saw the Hunter King and HB Kang match. Hunter looking very, very impressive tonight, very aggressive, and it served him. I was asking the question a few weeks ago, who can actually stop HB Kang, and well, now that question has been answered. I mentioned earlier that Hunter King's definitely one of the men on this roster that could have done it. Max Rutten springs to mind as well, but Hunter gets the job done. And speaking of Max Rutten, who now has to be having his head on a swivel because Eric Redhead is after him from what Bailey has just said. Will that affect him in tonight's match? Well, we're not going to have to wait much longer to find out, guys, because that match is happening right now. It is main event time. It is RK Ortiz going up against one of the favourites for the tournament, Max Rutten. Max has been ultra aggressive lately, but you have to say, where RK Ortiz is concerned, I've mentioned he's been picking up the odd win here and there, starting to gain little bits of momentum slowly. And you couple that with what we have literally just heard from Bailey Dudley, telling Max Rutten, you best keep your head on a swivel because the destructive Eric the Red, or Eric Redhead, whatever you prefer, he's now after Max Rutten. So is it a good time for RK Ortiz to be getting Max Rutten in the ring? I would say probably. He's going to have that extra motivation as well, Ortiz, because once again, exactly as he wants, he's back in front of the cameras. We're deep in WrestleMania season, as I keep talking about. And I do feel with that message that Bailey Dudley has just delivered, if there is ever a good time to be getting this man right here, Max Rutten, it's probably now, because he's got all of this that's just come out. It's probably news to him as well, with Eric the Red now after him. He's got Stephen York and Johnny Justice. That's not in the rear view mirror yet. Justice still out at the moment, but you've got to think that they're going to want revenge as well. So there's a whole lot on the plate for Rutten at the moment, and we learned at the very beginning of this universe that he doesn't like having to deal with the business side of this business. He's somebody who just wants to get in the ring, kick people's ass, and get back out to the ring. So yeah, a hell of a lot going on around Rutten at the moment. An awful lot of extra noise that he probably doesn't need. That noise was being caused by Johnny Justice joining him and Stephen York, where until that happened he was literally unbeatable. So who knows which way this can go. I'll still make Rutten the favourite, of course, but RK Ortiz might just have an outside chance here. We'll have to wait and see, but we're not going to have to wait long for a conclusion, because this match is underway and Ortiz already, well, I was going to say playing a little bit of head games, but he has just absolutely got floored by Rutten. First shot of the match was enough to take Ortiz down, but he's firing back right now. And what is it with the outside of the ring action tonight? I think we've had as much action outside as we've had in it. At the moment, it's Ortiz who's got the better of the early exchanges. Rutan normally comes out firing, and well, there you go. Exactly what I was talking about. The big shot there, followed with the smashes of the back of the head to the floor. Rutan now is going for the early submission here. We've seen this move used very effectively throughout this universe of ours. It's probably got the highest tap rate of any submission at the moment, I would say. And Ortiz feeling that already, but manages to fight through it, and it's a nice German suplex there that has the back of Max knotted up. He must have landed a bit wrong, a bit awkward there maybe. And Ortiz capitalising straight away there with that Russian leg sweep. And I mentioned it, Rutan, he looks a little bit out of sorts here at the moment, and well, Ortiz is absolutely just giving him a kicking, if we're being honest, literally there with a kick to the head. This is not what I expected, but fair play to Ortiz. A lot of people were probably already beaten, to be honest, before the bell even rung when fighting Rutan. But Ortiz has gone the other way. He's probably been sitting there thinking, well, if I try and fight defensively, he's going to run all over me, so I'm just going to go straight out on the attack. And those tactics are proving very, very effective at the moment. Like, very effective. It's been a long while since we've seen Rutan in this kind of trouble. And Ortiz at the moment is looking really, really good in this one. But just look how quickly Rutan strikes back. We've mentioned this before, but we don't have to mention it often. Rutan absolutely loves being in a good, difficult fight, and that's exactly what he's finding himself in right now with Ortiz. Although that was a long fall that Ortiz just took from the second rope to the outside to the floor, so that could swing this match right on its head. And Ortiz there smashed straight into the apron. Sorry guys, this is like the third video I think I've made today, and my voice is really starting to struggle now. But that's nothing compared to what Ortiz is going through at the moment. So we move, we soldier on, and that's exactly what Ortiz is going to have to find himself doing at the moment, because you do not want to let Rutan start to dictate the match, and that's what's happening here. Ref very out of position there. Probably cost Rutan a second at the most, so it wouldn't have been enough anyway. But sacrifice, no, we're not seeing the sacrifice. That is a beautiful counter from Ortiz. He's going to the top now. What are we going to see from up here from the Latin man? We're going to see the frog splash. He hits it as well, bounces straight off Rutan, and this could be it. It's one, it's two, and it's a... No, it's not a shock. It's not a shock win for Ortiz. He fired a huge shot at Max Rutan there, but Rutan still had enough in him to kick out. And look at Ortiz's confidence at the moment. He's really feeling himself, and he's going back up, you know. The ref's telling him to get down, but he's not going to listen. Hits the big elbow, and that hurt his own elbow as well, bouncing off Rutan once again, who comes back with a big shoulder block. Two massive impacts there to Rutan, and look who's standing in control. Big clothesline, second one, ducks under the shot from Ortiz, off the ropes with a third big clothesline, and all of a sudden now Rutan's in charge. We've seen him win his last match with that very elbow drop. Doesn't go for the cover this time though. Instead, he wants to let Ortiz and maybe Eric Redhead know that he's in complete control here. Knee to the stomach there, didn't get all of it, certainly got enough of it to take Ortiz down though. And once again Ortiz rolling to the outside, but he's made a big mistake here in my view, or has he? He gets out the way of the big shot there from Rutan, hits a DDT, and he's going to go up to the rope, top rope for a third time in a row. Another frog splash, another huge impact, and this really could be it. It's one, it's two, and it is three. No, way, Ortiz has just beaten Max Rutten in the main event of this week's Raw. I am in complete shock, but you've got to give it to him. What a performance from Ortiz this week. He just seemed to be one step ahead of Max all night long. I've not seen Max that outdone before. There's probably a better word for it than that, but I can't think of it right now. I am in absolute shock. Look at the height he gets on that frog splash. Was this the first or the second one? I'm not sure. It was the first. He wouldn't be deterred though, because there is the second one. And Rutten beaten. Oh my gosh. That actually now ties he and Hunter King at the top of the tournament league phase. And I think maybe Alpha Jackson is just one win behind them. So this blows the whole thing wide open. There will be huge implications on this win, but right now, let's not talk about that. Let's not even think about that, because this is the moment of RK Ortiz. What a showing. Is he now finally starting to put it all together? And are things going to start happening for him here in this universe of ours? He has suffered greatly so far, but if ever there's a way to kickstart your career, you do it against the top guy in the main event in WrestleMania season, and that is exactly what Ortiz has just done. My mind is absolutely blown. I also have to say my throat is really starting to hurt now, so I am gonna leave this week's show here, guys. I just again want to really thank you all for being here. Whoever sees this, just know that I really appreciate you. And if you have enjoyed what you've seen, there is plenty more of it already on the channel. There's plenty more of it coming, so please do hit that like, please do hit that subscribe, and I will see you all shortly for the next one. But for tonight, guys, again, thank you all so much, and that's me done. Bye bye.